Hello, so today I'm going to show how to solve equations with variables on both sides. So the first step is to get rid of a variable on one side, and then you have to solve for the variable. So for this example here, it's 15 minus x equals 4x. So what you would do, you would get rid of the x. So you would add x to the other side to get rid of it. Use inverse operations because this is minus x, so you would add the x. Then when you have 15 equals 5x. Then in order to get the x alone, you would divide 5 from the x and also from 15. So your final answer would be 3 equals x. Okay, so these are some distributive property examples, which means you distribute the number outside the parentheses to the numbers within the parentheses. So for the first one, you would distribute 5 to the x and to the 4. So you'd have 5x plus 20 equals 6x minus 5. Then what you would do is you would subtract 5x from both sides. And you would have 20 equals x minus 5. Then you would add 5 to both sides to isolate the x. You would have 25 equals x as your final answer. And for this one, basically the negative sign has an invisible 1 in front of it. So you would be distributing negative 1 to 3 and to b. So it would be 8 minus 3 minus b equals b minus 9. So you would do 8 minus 3, which means it would be 5 minus b equals b minus 9. Then you would add b to both sides. And since variables also have an invisible 1 in front of it, it would be 5 equals 2b minus 9. Then in order to isolate it, you would have to add 9 to both sides. It should be 14 equals 2b. Then you have to divide by 2. And you would get 7 equals b as your final answer. Okay, so these are some general examples. So for the first one, you would add 2y to both sides. So you would have 8 equals 5y minus 2. Then you would add 2 to both sides. You would have 10 equals 5y. Then in order to isolate y, you would have to divide by 5. And you would have y equals 2 as your final answer. For this one, you could subtract by 3p on both sides. So you would have p plus 2 equals negative 7. And you have minus 2 on both sides. You have p equals negative 9. For this one, you could subtract 4q on both sides. Q. Then you would have 3 plus q equals 9. You would minus 3, and q would equal 6. And for the last one here, you would subtract 3n on both sides to get rid of one of the variables. Then you would have negative 5 equals 4n plus 11. Then you would minus 11 on both sides. That would be negative 16 equals 4n. You would divide by 4. And you would have negative 4 equals n as your final answer.